What's up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm sorry I haven't uploaded in a while. It's been probably about a month. As you can see, I don't know if you can tell in the video, I moved houses, have a new setup. So let me know if you like the setup. It should be the same, just a different area. But today we have a very unfortunate video to talk about. Corbin Burnes got a huge injury, so I'm going to talk about what it means to the Dbacks as a team, their playoff chances, him as a player, and just the Dbacks team in general. So let's hop into it. So Lovello, the Dbacks manager, announced around 2:15 on Friday, June 6th, that Corbin Burnes would have season-ending Tommy John surgery, which whenever you hear the word Tommy John is never good. It kind of just sucks because Burnes is a stud, but it kind of comes at a terrible time too because the Dbacks finished up a 3-game series against the Braves. They had that miraculous comeback in the 9th inning yesterday to sweep all 3 from the Braves. And now one of their a top 5 pitcher in baseball is done for the year and possibly all of next year. But on Saturday, June 1st, 5 days ago, Burnes threw a pitch to C.J. Abrams in a Nationals game in the 5th inning, I believe. He yelled, I can't say it on YouTube and because of my parents, but he yelled the F word and he immediately called out the trainer. He was caught lip reading, "My elbow, it's dead, it's gone," something along those lines. And I thought it was just going to be a rehab like they did with AJ Puck, but instead it's season-ending Tommy John surgery. The only reason I thought it was going to be a rehab because he didn't feel a pop, which is when most players get Tommy John. But who knows? Injuries these days are so bad. But he got an MRI early Monday morning with the Diamondbacks doctors the day after he hurt his elbow. And then the MRI came back inconclusive, so he flew down to LA to meet with a Los Angeles Dodgers and LA Rams doctor who specializes in arm injuries, and they left it up to him. Burnes finally opted to get Tommy John to just help the team and get better sooner, because the thing is, if they decided to rehab it, who knows, that could have gone terribly wrong, and then in 2 months when he's ready to return, first pitch back, he blows out his elbow. So it's better to just get the surgery, get it out of the way, so you'll be healthier and ready to compete sooner. But it just sucks because Corbin Burnes is a stud. But now we're going to talk about what this means for the Dbacks rotation. Corbin Burnes is an ace on 26 out of 30 MLB teams. He's a stud, fantastic pitcher. But what does this mean for the rotation? Zach Gallen, he's not pitched like the Zach Gallen he's used to this year. I will say that. Because the Mets start and the Yankees starts. He's been awesome, and which I love to see. Gallen's a stud. But what we need to see is that Braves Gallen that we saw. He went 7 innings, 3 runs given up, 1 earned because Eugenio Suarez couldn't field a grounder. But we need that old Gallen that we're used to, because Gallen, especially with Burnes now, we have to have that Gallen. So you'll have Gallen as your ace for the next year and a half. And then you go Merrill Kelly, who is an absolute stud. He's a fantastic pitcher. He's a workhorse. They call him Merrill the mainstay. He can pitch with the best of them, and he's just a stud. Merrill has been great, like I said. He had 1 rough start against the Yankees, but everyone has had at least 1 start ever in their career that's not gone their way. And he's just a stud. He has a 3.43 ERA, which is exactly what you want out of your 2-starter. A guy that eats innings and can also put up a 3.50 ERA. Merrill's that guy. Their third pitcher, who's a huge question mark, Brandon Pfaadt. He's pitched good in the past. The playoffs, he really shined. He was awesome for them. But his last 2 starts, he's been terrible. Against the Nationals, he gave up like 6 runs, 8 hits. Without recording an out, which was great. I was so mad. And then against the Braves, he gave up 6 runs. He's been really consistent this whole year until those last 2 starts. And especially with your ace gone, you need Brandon Pfaadt to step up and just be the Brandon Pfaadt of the old, because he's not been great recently. We need that number 3 Pfaadt from the playoffs and last year and this year. Eduardo Rodriguez, who's going to be our 4-starter now, he is the biggest question mark in this whole rotation, to be honest. He was great for the Tigers with the 3.30 ERA, just a middle of the pack starter before he came to Arizona. Granted, it was some injuries, but he put up like a 5.04 ERA in his first year with Arizona after getting a 4-year, $80 million contract. And this year, he's again, it's been injuries and it's the year's still in the beginning, but he put up a 5. He has a 7.05 ERA. We need that Tigers E-Rod with with Burnes gone, and just go out and shove. You don't need, out of your 4-starter, you don't need a 1 ERA. You need a 3.60 ERA, even 3.70 is fine. Just go out and pitch well enough, pitch 6 innings of 3-run ball, and then hand it to the bullpen. That's all you're looking for your 4-starter, and that's all Rodriguez has to do. So I hope Rodriguez returns to his old form. Our 5-starter, who's also going to be replacing Corbin Burnes, is Ryan Nelson. He's been, besides Burnes, our most consistent starter since the All-Star break last year. He pitches well. He's going to go deep into games, 6 to 7 innings, and Nelson's just a fantastic pitcher. I hate that Burnes gone, but Ryan is not a bad player to have in your rotation. But we need him to be that consistent guy. He had a 3.43 ERA in 42 innings pitched this year. It's been a small sample size, but that's the Ryan Nelson we need. For our backup, I mean, there's going to be a lot of guys because you can never have too much pitching, but honestly, I think it's most likely going to be Christian Mena. He's already pitched at the major league level this year, and he's honestly not been bad. He has a 0 ERA and 5.2 innings pitched. Like I said, small sample size, but he has great stuff. He needs to trust his stuff and just shove and go out and shove. He did that against the Dodgers in the bullpen. He's an awesome pitcher, and he's not a bad 6-starter to have. Now the thing is that Gallen and Merrill Kelly I'm not worried about. Gallen hasn't been great this year, but he'll figure it out. But I'm worried about Brandon Pfaadt and Ryan Nelson, or Brandon Pfaadt and Eduardo Rodriguez. They just need to be serviceable. Pfaadt, I need to be great. Rodriguez as a 4-starter, I need him to be serviceable. Nothing better than serviceable. Put up a 3.70 ERA and I'm happy. And Ryan Nelson just needs to continue pitching well. And honestly, if all that happens, the Dbacks have a chance at making the playoffs, even with Burnes gone. But the amount of time nowadays from Tommy John is 14 to 16 months. So it's possible you're missing Burnes for the rest of this year, without a doubt. But 14 months would put us right after the All-Star break, so at best you'll get Burnes at the All-Star break, but at the worst 16 months is the rest of next year, so it's possible you only get Burnes for, I think he made like 6 starts this year, for 6 starts in the next 2 years, which would suck because we paid him so much money and he's such a stud. This is also super surprising because Burnes earlier this year, he missed a start due to a shoulder injury, and that was his first missed start since 2020. That's part of the reason why the Dbacks signed him. He's Mr. Consistent, will go out, give you 7-8 innings, and just shove with 2 runs in the process. He's an absolute workhorse. So to see him go down with Tommy John is even more surprising. It just sucks. Burnes this year had a 2.66 ERA and 64.1 innings pitched. Like I said, he's going to pitch into the 6th or 7th inning, even the 8th sometimes, hand it off to the bullpen, which that's also part of the reason why you sign him. It's not just because he's a great pitcher that's going to put up a 2 or lower ERA. He pitches deep into games, which helps save your bullpen for, let's say, that same series, Eduardo Rodriguez is struggling. They can bring in one of their best pitchers out of the bullpen right away instead of having to bring in some guy that's less as good because Burnes went 8 innings deep into the game, so that's part of the reason why you signed a starter like Burnes. But not to mention, Zach Gallen's contract is up after this year. He's a great pitcher. He's going to get paid. I'm hoping the Dbacks re-sign him and bring him back, but who knows? He might get $220 million from the Dodgers, and the Dbacks don't want to offer that because that's just a ton of money to tie up. I hope they do, but if they do, you're going to lose Zach Gallen, who was your ace before Burnes and is an ace on most teams, and then you're going to have Corbin Burnes gone for hopefully not all of next year, but it's possible. So that's 2 guys that you miss that are aces, which would just suck. Merrill's a great pitcher, but I would rather him as a 2-starter with Gallen or Burnes at the 1 instead of Kelly as a 1 followed by Pfaadt. That just makes that rotation so less deep if they were to lose Gallen in free agency and have Burnes out for the entire year. So I'm hoping Gallen is either re-signed or we get Burnes back at the All-Star break, but who knows? This is just such a mess. And not to mention, Burnes is a former Cy Young Award winner. It just sucks to see him go down like this. Now the big question that everyone's wondering, what does this mean for the Dbacks playoff chances? The team just swept the Braves, who I will say haven't had the best year, but they have a talented roster. They're one of the best teams in baseball each year. So you take that, you like sweeping the Braves. They're only 3 games out of a wild card spot for that final spot, and only 6.5 out of first place for the division lead. With all things considered, they lost 2, or I think they lost 2 out of 3 against the Pirates, and they lost 1 to the Rockies. Everything could be a lot worse than the way it is right now. I will say that. But so 3.5 isn't that bad with everything considered. So, what this team needs to do if they want to have a chance at playoffs, all you have to do is go out and pitch like Merrill Kelly and Zach Allen. I need you guys to be the studs you are. Just go out and pitch. Brandon Fall, I need you to just be service pretty good. Eduardo Rodriguez, that's the biggest question mark. You need to be serviceable. Ryan Nelson needs to continue to pitch well. And not to mention, like the bullpen, a couple other things have to happen if they want to make the playoffs. The bullpen has to be better than they do. It will help when they get AJ Puck back hopefully at the end of this month, because they said 2 to 3 months, which is the end of June. So that should help. But you can't rely on 1 or 2 guys like Justin Martinez and AJ Puck. The whole bullpen has to be better itself, especially if Erod struggles and they don't. Like Erod struggles in the 3rd inning and they need to bring in guys. They need to bring in relievers that can get the job done, and the bullpen needs to be better. The Diamondbacks need to clean up on the D-backs, or on the defense miscommunication. There's been a couple plays where they just don't talk, and it's bad. Because Naylor the other day fielded a ground ball. Thompson was running to the bag. They ran into each other. The guy was safe. Stuff like that they need to clean up in order to win games and make it to the playoffs. And they also need to close up the base running. They've ran into so many outs lately on base paths. It's kind of bad. Carroll was almost out at the time run at 3rd yesterday. Drake Baldwin, how do you say it? The Braves catcher threw out, I think it was Tim Tall running to 2nd. They need to clean up on the base running and the defense, and the bullpen has to be better if they want to make the playoffs. I will say it's not impossible for this Diamondbacks team to not make the playoffs. To make the playoffs. Last year, the Braves had the same issue, except for it was earlier. Spencer Strider, their ace, went down with Tommy John. They figured out a way. They just gritted out wins, and their team was fine. They made it to the playoffs. So, that's an example. The Yankees this year, Garrett Cole's out. They haven't officially clinched a playoff spot, but they're in first place in their division. Those 2 teams are examples how you just go out and play. Go out and play your ball. Pretend like nothing happened. Just go out and play. And when you just worry about yourself, and when you look up, you might be in the playoff race, or you might be just out of it. But with an ace, the Mets, or the Braves and the Yankees shown it's possible. Now the big question is, are the Diamondbacks cursed when signing free agent starting pitchers in the past couple years? Madison Bumgarner signed a 5-year, $85 million contract. He had basically a 5 ERA each year with Arizona for the 3 years before they released him. He was still getting paid up till last year too. It was crazy. Jordan Montgomery, who they signed last year, had a 6.23 ERA and was getting, his contract was 2 years, $25 million, so 2 years, $50 million total. He had 6.23 ERA, like I said earlier, and had Tommy John this year. So those 2 guys have not been good. Those are actually 2 lefties too. There's a lot of lefties on this list. Now Corbin Burnes, who signed a 6-year, $210 million contract, he has been the one guy who's actually pitched good. It's just he got unlucky with the injury bug, and he never missed a start, so it's weird. But he's actually pitched well, actually great, just the injury bug bought him. And then Eduardo Rodriguez, who is another lefty. There's 4 out of 5 lefties on this list. He had a 4-year, $80 million contract. He hasn't pitched great with a 7.05 ERA this year and a 5.04 last year. He's not been good. Granted, it's been injuries, but this team, I don't know what it is. They need to really focus about who they're going to sign in the offseason, because so far the past 5 years, it's not been great with starters. But that's it for today's video. Corbin Burnes is done for this year, and I hope not all of next year. It just sucks as a Diamondbacks fan. I started crying when I saw this. It made me so mad. And basically, it's not impossible for this Dbacks team to make the playoffs, especially where they are in the standings, only 3 games back, but it's a lot harder without your ace. So this team needs to lock in and just figure out how to win games and just start stacking up wins. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think of the Burnes injury down in the comments and what you think of the Diamondbacks' chance of making the playoffs.